Hello, my name is Melida Buendia. I've been working as a conference interpreter in the Spanish booth at the United Nations headquarters in New York since the year 2000. On a daily basis, my main job is to give interpretation services into Spanish from the other languages, mainly English and French, which are in my language combination, in any of the meetings that I may be assigned to and that take place every day here in the United Nations headquarters in New York. So I was brought up, I like to say bilingual in Spanish because my dad is from Ecuador and my mom is from Spain, and I grew up in both countries and I traveled back and forth and have many relatives in both countries, which gave me, I think, a very rich exposure to my own language. And maybe that was the germ of my later interest in foreign languages. So I later learned English and French as a teenager, and I actually moved to Switzerland for college after I finished high school, which helped me perfect my French. And I knew back then that I wanted to find a job where I could use the languages in a practical way. And I stumbled upon the interpretation school in Geneva, which was just what I was looking for, a way to apply my passion for languages in a practical and meaningful way to me. I have covered 17 high-level segments so far. Yeah, the work during the high-level week is definitely more stressful, partly because of the security issue and the crowds and the unpredictability, but it's also more exciting. There are meetings that are different from the ones that we get to work in the rest of the year, so it's definitely very stimulating. And one memory that is a highlight of my career so far is the high-level debate of the year 2015, the year the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, were adopted, when Pope Francis came to the UN, and a special meeting was organized right before the opening of the general debate with former Secretary General Ban Ki-moon and Pope Francis, who also spoke, and some cultural events like Shakira singing in the very General Assembly Hall where the general debate is held. I think interpreters are all very curious people. We are all interested in the world and in anything new that we might be able to learn, and there's no wrong subject because you never know what's going to come up in a meeting. So you have to be constantly open to learning new things. On a more practical level, an interpreter needs to have a good level of languages. Most interpreters nowadays have gone through an interpretation school. It's generally a master program that you do after your bachelor's degree. You can either do a bachelor's degree in translation, which is very common, but you can also study something else. Everything is valuable, laws or political science, and then go into your master's degree. But keep in mind that interpretation school is not a language school. It's a school where you're going to learn the skills to interpret and polish your languages, but you need to go in with already a pretty solid level of languages.